Good morning, Magic. I'm Gavin Verhey from Wizards of the Coast. And the past 2 years, I've interviewed some of our summer interns about their experience here. And it's been so great to hear from them, what they do, and what a Wizards internship is like. In fact, some of the interns this year cited these videos as why they applied. That's so cool. So I wanted to do it again this year. What is being a Wizards intern in 2022 like? What advice do our interns have? I talked with 4 different interns about it. Take it away.
Hello, my name's Liam. I go to Carleton College, and I am one of the play design interns for Magic.
Hello, my name is Jacob Gerstmann, and I am an associate video producer here at Wizards of the Coast. I am just graduating from Western Washington University.
Hello, my name is Angelina Shea Harris. I graduated with my BA from UC San Diego, class of 2020, and I'm currently a master's student at Cal State Long Beach.
Hi, my name is Amanda Sharkey, and I'm an undergrad at the University of Southern California in LA, and I was the production intern for the Dungeons & Dragons team this summer.
So I'm on casual play design. So basically, I've been doing a lot of play testing, Commander and Jumpstart products, and I've also gotten to be on the set team, and I've also gotten to be on the vision team for a set that's much further out in the future in the design process. My main project was working on set Jumpstart, so designing the packets and designing new cards for a Jumpstart associated with the standard release, and I was working on that with my fellow intern Aaron, and that was the project where we were given the most responsibility and the most freedom.
My job as the associate video producer intern was a lot of planning and a lot of making sure things went the way that they should go and were on time. So that meant a lot of emails, setting up time for meetings, and just communication overall was like the biggest part of being a producer. I work in the digital marketing department. We are given the idea, and then we make that idea into a reality through writing it, to hiring a vendor to shoot it and edit it, and then we are on the other side, basically being the glue that connects the creation of the video to Wizards and making sure that it all goes accordingly. Everything within the video stays on brand, and everything is done on time for the video to come out when whoever needed the video to be done wants it to come out.
This position had a lot of cross collaboration involved, so I worked directly for the social and influencer team, and also worked collaboratively with other departments like the community management team, the arena team, and the branding teams. Basically, the position was all about curating content, pitching social media campaigns, posting on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, collecting data to analyze performance. That's a very corporate sounding explanation, but more realistically, I got to flex on both my creative ideas and my social media expertise, spending my time either communicating new ideas to my team and or learning from the Wizards themselves.
A producer's role can cover a lot of areas, especially on physical game production, but it basically involves a lot of team coordination, scheduling, and a lot of scope management to make sure that just the book gets done. This summer, I focused a lot on how we approach scheduling and tracking the actual game design and writing and editing parts of D&D. It involved streamlining our project plan and design schedules to much better reflect the flow from writing, refinement, and editing, as well as just generally incorporating ways to better predict the work capacity of people on a project.
I've been playing Magic since 5th grade, and I've played a lot of formats during my time, everywhere from playing competitively and drafting a lot on Arena, to drafting in person, to Commander in person. As you can see, Magic has given me a lot over the years. I grew up playing it, so I was really grateful for the opportunity to give back in some way this summer.
Personally, I have been playing Magic the Gathering for a lot of my life. I started because at the summer camp that I used to go to, everyone played Magic there. Anytime it was raining, anytime we had to be inside, big thing on Saturdays when we had free days, it was all Magic. I used to go and play drafts at Uncle's Games as well, which would used to be a game shop over in Crossroads. So yeah, I've been playing that a lot of my life, but D&D I only really got into during the pandemic. I was listening to a lot of D&D podcasts beforehand, and then I decided to try my hand at DMing my first one shot. It didn't go amazingly, but I've always wanted to also be a player, and during this internship, actually, I got the chance to be a player because one of the other interns is an amazing DM, and he ran a group of us interns through one of his one-shots. It was amazing. So yeah, that's my background.
I have been playing Magic the Gathering for a long time. My dad first taught me how to play with a mono blue alpha and beta card deck when I was 8 years old. And back then, anything my dad thought was cool, I usually had little to no interest in. I really got into Magic sometime in early middle school. I think it was 13 or 14. And I noticed that when I went to my Masonic youth events on the weekends, there was a clear divide between the girls and the boys. The girls were on the dance floor and the boys were at the tables playing Magic. This really rubbed me the wrong way, and I got some of the boys to sort of reteach me the game. And after that, I made it my mission to teach all of the other girls. It was sort of an early feminist awakening in a way. It was definitely a mission that I hope to bring with me as my gaming career potentially progresses. Dungeons and Dragons didn't become a huge part of my life until quarantine. I had played a few one-offs before, but while we were quarantined together, me and my closest friends, who happened to be my roommates, started our first long-term game with multiple sessions. It was great because the four walls that we were stuck in together just felt much less limiting. And that's definitely something that got us all through that really tough period in our lives. I'm very fortunate to have had those people in my life during that period, and I don't think I would have gotten through it without them.
My background with Dungeons and Dragons goes back like 6 years now. I've been playing, I've been DMing, I like watching shows and listening to podcasts, and it's honestly like the thing that inspired me to pursue game development as a career. A little bit more of a baby Magic player. That changed when I got here, but I think I have plenty of really angry friends who now know that my first game of Magic against like a real person was playtesting for an upcoming Jumpstart set, so that was very fun.
On my average workday, a bit more than half of the day is spent in meetings. So that could be anything from playtesting to going over playtest feedback with the set leads, or maybe like company-wide events, or maybe just a one-on-one designing some cards with someone. When I'm not in meetings, I'm usually doing one of three things: deck building for an upcoming playtest, designing cards or redesigning cards to fill holes in sets, or doing a file pass on a set from a certain perspective and giving feedback to the set leads based on what I'm seeing.
So the day-to-day for me, since this was a remote internship, a lot of my day-to-day was I go to a meeting, I look at my emails, and then I chill out for a little bit, and then I have another meeting, I check my emails, maybe I communicate with some people. But that was more the overall day-to-day. Really depended on what project I was actually working on at that time.
Any given day, there were meetings with any department that you can imagine. In social media marketing, you have to pay attention to the consumers as well as communicate the aspect of your product according to the wishes of your company. And at Wizards, that can definitely be a balancing act. I would say my time was split pretty evenly between creative development and data analysis. Creative development involved researching trends, curating presentations to pitch my campaign ideas, communicating places where I felt that we could improve, asking lots of questions about the lore, and making the posts, the graphics, taking the photos, writing the copy, and brainstorming ways to hype up our events and releases. All that kind of fun stuff.
Every day as a producer is pretty different. There's a lot of meetings because your whole point is your job is to talk with people and fix their problems. Some of these meetings, I was just sort of sitting and observing these discussions on vendors and project requirements and budgeting. But there are also plenty where you're catching up with the art team or the design team, or like a project stand-up, and you track progress, getting updates, and address any issues that are apparent. And then often take the information I learned in these meetings, I even had a lot of one-on-ones, to then inform the work I was doing on making these schedules and these templates. Plus, as a producer, I was helpful to be around when any fires came up. Production fires come up a lot. Oh no, where are all these files? Oh geez, we have this date sooner than we thought. Hey, leadership's asking for this. Do we have it? Huh? And that's something I really enjoy, is just the everyday is different, and you never know what sort of things are going to come up, what problems you'll have to solve.
So many awesome things have happened, but an example of one highlight for me was on Play Day, which is just a sort of cross-department day for any given set, where a bunch of people just play test the set, some of them for the first time, various formats for the set, and give a bunch of feedback. Our Jumpstart was one of the formats for the set that was going through Play Day, and I was able to recruit some of the other interns from other departments. So shout out to Paolo, Sharky, and Angelina for attending and helping us playtest. And that was really fun.
I got to produce a video all on my own, which was super awesome. I did all the communicating between Wizards and the vendor. I collected all of my team's feedback and put them into succinct emails that I would send out. And it was stressful, but really, really it was a huge learning experience, and my cat's in the background. So yeah, I also got to go to a couple shoots. I got to go to 2 specifically. That was probably the highlight. Those 2 days were definitely the highlights of my internship, because I got to go in, I got to meet my team, I got to do all this fun stuff, and I got to actually observe what shoots are like.
I think the big aha, I love it here moment for me was when I was reading all these articles and even watching all of these fan-made YouTube videos trying to brush up on my Magic the Gathering lore. And I asked this question about why there wasn't really a single easily acceptable or consumable central place for consumers to absorb all of this rich, complex storytelling that is apparently involved in Magic the Gathering. And of course, the Gen Z millennial cusper in me asked why we weren't prioritizing TikToks and Reels. And they basically said, if these things are important to you and you value them and you think they can be valuable to us, tell us how you think we should do them. And I hit the ground running and I went and found example content and I started putting ideas into a pitch deck, and I ended up giving that presentation multiple times. And they even brought my ideas and interns' ideas to collaborating influencers and producers. And just that moment to have one of my ideas not only valued by my team, but implemented and executed in some capacity at this stage in my career, that was just incredibly fulfilling. And it made me feel so valuable and so confident.
God, I think one of my favorite moments was I was at this meeting about to present my work to Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins, like directly to them. I was so nervous, but we were making small talk. And Jeremy mentioned to the editor who was there that he wanted to talk about the show FY Island. And I went into this thing like, oh, Jeremy is this mysterious, magically well-spoken, insane designer man. And it relaxed me so much though, made me much more comfortable presenting, knowing that he's just like me, just another dude who likes campy reality TV about terrible hot people trying to date other terrible hot people on an island. Yes, it's a genre, and it's a great, you should check out the show. God, my coworkers are so great, and I have really fun quotes written down from meetings like, I am eating office eggs and string cheese. This is a cry for help. Or one from today was, I think Pants would love some Italian beef as well. The people just made this experience.
My overall experience was just like absolutely phenomenal. Like it was a once in a lifetime experience. And yeah, I would absolutely come back. It's not even close.
That was my overall experience. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I got to meet awesome people. I got to meet awesome people within Wizards. I got to meet awesome people who are interns. I got to meet awesome people outside of Wizards that work with Wizards. I made so many connections that I'm just so thankful for. I got to learn so much. There's so much internal knowledge that I never would have guessed. I never would have heard of before. And it was a huge learning experience for me. I got to see the process of professional videos. I got to see what a actual like corporation looks like on the inside. I've never been part of that before. I'm just graduating college this summer. So yeah, the entire experience was definitely worthwhile, and I would do it again.
If it were up to me, the summer would never be over. I would never be leaving Wizards. It is incredibly unique to find a company that has equal parts corporate structure, prestige, security, and all that, and equal parts creative atmosphere and collaboration and passion and open-mindedness. I was never really planning to make a career in gaming, All I ever wanted was a career and something I could put my heart and soul into. Promoting artists and creatives who are building something inspiring and beautiful, and working on a team that values my effort and who is supportive of each other. And I see that in every aspect of WotC after this experience.
My overall experience was so good this summer. Something I think is very unique to Wizards internships is that we get to work on really meaningful and really impactful things. Like, I know the work I did this summer is going to be used after I'm gone, and even long after in the future, it's going to continue helping the team out. I'm still kind of figuring out though what I want to do as a game producer, and I'm not quite sure it's going to be in physical game production, but I absolutely love the chance to return to Wizards and explore opportunities in the growing digital fields here.
A piece of advice that I would give to incoming interns is that asking questions is a great way to start conversations, especially as a new intern meeting a lot of new people. So what I do is whenever I think of something, I just add it to a list. I have a physical list of questions that I'm meaning to ask when the time arises. So it could be anything from logistical to conceptual to what is your favorite dinosaur?
I would say for the new group of interns, just making sure that you don't let yourself get stuck. I definitely had that a couple times where maybe no one's emailing you, especially if it's a remote internship. If no one's emailing you or you are feeling really unproductive, start working on your own kind of project. Like, have a side project that you can work on if you feel like you're being unproductive in a certain situation. I would also suggest be okay with being a fly on the wall. Be okay with just observing and watching. If there are meetings that you want to be a part of, maybe it doesn't make sense for you to actually give any input, but just being able to see those meetings and getting that experience that not many other people at our stages have gotten before. That would be, find the stuff that you're really interested in and you feel like is going to help you develop, and search that out.
For the future Wizards out there, my best piece of advice would be to take a deep breath, relax. Wizards are just people. Crazy, talented, wonderful, and potentially intimidating people, but still people who want to hear you and see your ideas and who want to teach you new skills as well as learn things from you. Don't be afraid to speak up. There are literally no dumb questions. I'm sure I asked them all. And don't be afraid to reach out to anyone for help where you need it. And especially don't be afraid to reach out to anyone in the company that you think you can learn from. My favorite part of this experience was the networking, getting to talk to creatives and executives from every stage of the game's development. Everyone here will be nice to you and they want to answer your questions. And they all have a lot of cool things to talk about. Be yourself. Put in the best work you can and make the most of every moment, because these 3 months fly by so fast. You'll have an amazing time as long as you relax and let yourself produce your best work.
My advice for next year's interns is just to trust in your own knowledge. You got this, you have this. Of course, your team knows that you are a college student who's just here to learn and you're only here for the summer. But there is so much of an impact you can make by just bringing your own style to the table. The culture here is really open and supportive, and you're not really gonna find yourself shut down at any point just because you're the intern. There was a time where I really wanted to push to make a switch on some units, and I was very ready to fight the creative producer if it meant switching from module units to page count. I did it, thankfully, and they saw my way. But my point is that I really felt empowered to stand up for what I believe was best for the team, and that my opinion really mattered and was so valued. So trust your gut. You have knowledge, you have skill, and you're here for a reason.
Thanks so much to everybody for taking the time to appear in this video. If you're interested, internship applications often go up toward the beginning of the year, and they are paid. Keep your eyes peeled and go ahead and apply if you're in college. I'll talk with you again soon. Until then, may you work toward your dreams. You got this. Next up is a big one, flying. What this mechanic does is, I probably don't need to explain this one. In fact, I would argue flying is the best mechanic in all of Magic, not just because of the gameplay, but because it's so flavorfully intuitive. Even someone brand new to the game can immediately pick up how flying works. That creatures in the air